think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you? That I don't think that he's good.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome back. If you were with me this morning, welcome for the Ladies of London Season 4, Episode 10 review of Ladies of London. Thank you so much. If you've joined me this morning, if you're coming back this afternoon, I appreciate you so much. Let me greet the chat. Some of the moderators are here already. Thank you so much. Linda Gamble, happy Friday. Sandra Pease, Gen Extra, thank you so much. Happy Friday to you too. I saw Linda in the YouTube streets earlier. Hello, I hope you are doing well. And thank you so much for assisting with housekeeping, letting me know that I should refer to the banner, which is anything that I share will be under the Copyright Act of 1976. It is Section 107. It's for the purposes of research, commentary, criticism, education, and it's fair use. So thank you so much. Everything is alleged and in my opinion. So these are real people that we are talking about, but they are participating, on a reality show. And so I'm just giving my opinion about what I see, what they present to us on this show. And then again, I watch What Happens Live for further information just about what they thought of the season in the show. This is Ladies of London. I actually loved it. I thought it was a very good show. And I hope that it gets a second season with Bravo. So thank you for joining. Cece, thank you so much. Cece is a moderator, and I appreciate you, Cece. Thank you so much for joining me again in the chat. Thank you for being here today. Happy Friday again to you. And she's welcoming me and the chat and saying, please like, share, subscribe to enjoy all of the amazing content. Yes, Cece, thank you so much for that. Speaking to myself, Linda Gamble, anyone else that is in the chat. Thank you so much, both of you. Anyone else that comes in, American Born, thank you so much. This is our show, everybody. I'm glad American Born was able to come back. Saw you earlier in the YouTube streets and here, and thank you for joining me. Good afternoon. Happy Friday to you again, American Born. Thank you. And then everyone is just speaking to each other. And we have another moderator, Mama Bees. Thank you so much. Came in, spoke to myself, the rest of the chat. And I want to just tell everyone, I appreciate you for joining me at Sandra P's Gen Extra. And thank you so much for joining me for Ladies of London. This is season 4. It is episode 10. And it is called, Summer Showdown. And everybody, this looks like a finale type episode to me. Let me change the layout for a second. Okay, so you get a look at everyone that is there. We have gotten to know these characters over the 10 episodes pretty well. I think they did a great job. Last night we had Lady Emma, who is right there in the middle in the black slinky dress. She was on Watch What Happens Live in New York with Andy Cohen and her fellow castmate, Martha Sitwell. And I think this cast is very equally yoked. Some of them have titles, some don't. These two are ladies, but what I say by equally yoked, we see Lady Emma there in the middle, but I feel like she maybe was put up as a type of star, but she did present the lovely Longleat estate to us. Andy thanked her and her husband for offering the estate up to be filmed. She said a lot went on behind the scenes, but she appreciated the fact that they did film there. There with the white kneeling down, that is Missy. Missy is a model. I liked her the entire season as well. Missy had some messy moments, but she was pretty good. Myka is our sweet little Myka. She's one of the Americans. She is there in pink. She is the First Lady of Etiquette, or as they were calling her, the Queen of Etiquette. Lady Emma again. There is Margo. Margo doesn't know if she wants to be a villain or not. I refer to Margo as a trope that I don't like to hear in the news and across the world, but we hear it quite a bit. It's called the ugly American. That is someone who just makes themselves at home in another person's country, another person's house. They don't have any manners, decorum, loud, entitled. That was Margo for most of the season, unfortunately. And ending the season, I think last night they were saying it ends this week, but I thought they wrapped it up in episode 10. So that's Margo. I don't know. I go back and forth on if Margo is a good villain or not. I really dislike Margo. We'll talk about why during this review and recap an opinion of mine. That is Mark Francis Vandelli. I ended up liking Mark. Mark can be annoying, but I do like Mark. He's a lot, but I like him. Kimmy is in green. Kimmy started out not one of my favorites. Kimmy grew on me as well. I like Kimmy. That is another American. She's Haitian American. Her father is Haitian. Her mother is American. I believe they say Kimmy's from Florida. And this is Lottie Dottie. She can potty again because she's pregnant throughout this season. At the end of the episode, which I consider the season finale, y'all, they have showed that Joshua, who is her husband, and Lottie, Miss Lottie Dottie, she gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. So I'm happy for Lottie. Congratulations to Lottie and to her husband, Joshua, who makes custom-made gorgeous suits. So this whole episode was kind of a rundown on the season. So that was a pretty long introduction, but I just wanted to show everybody again, just in case we have people new to the chat, new to the channel. And if we do, welcome, thank you. And I would love for you to stay, press the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to Sandra P's Gen Extra, and you can join me on any new content as I discuss the shows with you. Thank you. So this rundown of the season, we get to see the beginnings of the feud between Mark and Margo. We start out, I think Myka was modeling in in Joshua and Lottie's show, but she is not actually modeling in the show. She ends up doing an etiquette. She's doing her etiquette event. So I thought that was really cute. But the little jacket that she had on, everybody, it was military inspired. We've seen Lottie in some of those. She got it from Joshua. So that was gorgeous. I think Michael Jackson would wear this little jacket. It had the buttons. I thought it was very well done. And she covered it. She covered a cute little ivory dress with a heart carved out. So Myka's very well dressed. She's one of my favorites. She comes in and she is setting up. Her staff is setting up. And she made a funny comment. She said, "I feel like a British naval officer." So I thought that was really nice. She's not going to be walking in Joshua and Lottie's show. What this is her etiquette event. So Myka gets an event that she hosts. It's called The Art of Showing Up. We find out it is her first event that she is holding toward etiquette. We saw her earlier putting together a puppet type thing, but this is her first event where she's having a live audience. So Myka's a little nervous, but you can't tell. We get Mark, who arrives. Also, her husband, Margo, in episode 10. Myka's husband, Margo, makes his debut on screen. Mark shows up. She introduces him to her husband, Margo. They're a cute couple. Margo, we hope to see more of you. And Myka is over the moon that he is there. So that's nice that he supports her in person, finally, for her first etiquette event. Missy's telling us she's never heard of an etiquette coach. My manners are pretty good. Then we show production, bringing out receipts. We show her yelling in public. She's eating with her hands, public nudity. She always liked to have one of the girls make a display. So that was pretty funny that they checked Missy in real time. Missy, you can be a little bit rude. So Mark and Missy greet each other. They're joking that they were on the same wavelength because they're wearing similar colors. Mark is dressed in a suit. Mark always looks good. She says, "Well, how are you?" Because they were just making small talk. And Mark I couldn't tell anything was wrong. But when she asked, "How are you?" I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to not read comments for a second because for some reason I can't see them, but I'll go back and get them. Mark said, "I'm feeling upset, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to ruin Myka's event." He said, "I can't believe how I have allowed someone to affect me. And I feel like an effing idiot." And then he says, Margo is the one that's bothering him. So y'all, I thought that was kind of terrible. I didn't know Mark was still carrying this with him. So then We get Margo. Margo is at her home. She's in a confessional. She's saying, I didn't tell Jack what these people did to me because he doesn't want me to even hang out with them ever again. They just know that she came back from lawn leet early and really upset. One of the boys asked her, how was your trip? She said, what did you hear about my trip? And he said, I heard that you didn't like it. These two boys are really sweet. These are her stepsons. And then we see cute little Della, I think her name is, the 1-year-old, walking around. So Margo is telling the boys her version of events at Longleat as if she didn't leave early, she wasn't a disaster, and she didn't insult someone and really hurt them over jokes about her clothes. So she's asking them if will they feel better if they get friends in London? And they're saying, well, yeah, but they're the same age. They kind of have each other, the boys. So Margo, I didn't like that. We go back to Mark and Missy. Mark says, I felt ashamed because I was the only obviously gay in school out of 1,000 boys. And once I got out of the circle of trust, it's true, I am freaking weird. And Missy says, you're not. She started to speak life into Mark. Remember, he said he didn't want to show that he's upset. So he was kind of holding it in. Yeah, it is kind of freaking weird when I'm outside of the circle of trust. Missy says, you are a beautiful human being. You are one of us. We love you. You are our friend. Mark started crying. Margo, I know you freaking lying. Y'all, I was going to kind of lighten up on Margo and say that she maybe can be a villain that I kind of wanted Dara to be. But the fact that Margo, I don't know the time frame, the fact that Margo has upset Mark to the point where this person, we've heard from Lady Emma, Martha, Kimmy, who's been friends with him for years, they've never seen him cry. He doesn't do this. That really bothered him. He said he was taken back to when he was 16 years old. And production shows us again Margo attacking him and Margo calling this man a whole freak. And then she lied about it. She's still lying about it. I'll read a few comments and then I will go back. Because y'all, I got kind of upset even just watching it and then even now remembering it. And the fact that on Watch What Happens Live, Lady Emma told Andy, yes, I've never seen that from him. Martha either. And she said, I guess it was cathartic, but that is very hurtful. Just, I don't know, y'all. The insults got to match. The insults have to match. And Margo can't dress. And Mark can say that if he wants without her attacking this man's whole character. So I'll read a few comments and then I'll go back and finish up the first scene in the review. And thank you for joining. Hello, K1J TV came in waving. She is my fellow content creator. I'm very glad to see you in the live. I appreciate you supporting me in the live, Kiwan. Those of you who are in here, if you're not already over there, please go and support K1J. Linda Gamble said, I just finished watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion and PK tell-all interview. You're ahead of the game, Linda Gamble. I've watched part 1, but not part 2. I have to watch that. And then PK's interview. I do see he was on a young man on YouTube. I can't think of his name, but it looked pretty good. I'm going to watch that as well. And I didn't cover Beverly Hills. I would just speak on it in an extra, but I would like to cover the reunion and kind of this season and also talk about PK. So I'll catch up and do that. American Born says they were so amazing on Watch What Happens Live last night. American Born, they were. The audience loved them. Andy was happy to have them in the clubhouse. Lady Emma, y'all know, I think she looks like Thandie Newton. She's just beautiful. Martha's gorgeous. He told Martha, you look like a old-fashioned, maybe a 1940s movie star. She says, that's how I like to dress. And he said, it's working for you. It's beautiful. And they had a prima ballerina. The only prima ballerina I know by name is Misty Copeland, but they had a young lady, very pretty young lady who's with the American Ballet Theater, serving at the bar. American Born says, did you think PK danced around a lot? She's asking Linda. Yeah, we want to discuss that. PK, I don't know. Dorit must have been dragging that man. We know that she can be exhausting and never let anybody finish a sentence. But PK's looking a lot better now than he did when he was still married to Dorit. I don't think their divorce is final. They're going through, but Dorit's miserable and PK looking kind of good. American Born. This was the last episode of the season. Okay, American Born. I don't know where I saw that they were ending next week, but I'm like, they're finishing everything up. And you know how they give the little final blurb. So yeah, that makes sense. This is the end. Andy needs to go to London so he can film everybody, or Bravo or NBC Universal put the money in. Let him come to New York. We need a reunion. It was really good. The little boy is very cute, American born. Yeah, her stepsons, and then that little Della. I just love that little Della. That's the baby that she trapped that man with, Jack. So Margo, South Carolina, ended up with a baby out of the deal. I'm not going to call her a one-night stand baby. I don't know the details, but that's how Margo made it sound. American Born says, I should have sent you the pic I saw today. You still can. I'll look at it. Maybe I'll do another extra sometime this weekend. American Born, yes. Asked about the home invasion. If he and Dorit's home, I believe they planned it or set it up allegedly. Linda Gamble, these insurance companies, most of them over at Dr. Wendy's and Happy Eddie's. Take another look at Dorit and PK, please. And thank you, somebody. Allegedly, and in our opinion. Linda Gamble, thank you. 5 likes and 4 in the chat. Thank you for liking the video, everybody. American Born, who says, I think so at Linda Gamble. I was hoping for more dirt on Dorit. Yeah, she's very unlikable. I agree with her a lot this season, but I'm shocked more dirt hasn't come up on her, frankly. And Linda Gamble says, he did say that Dorit and Mo have been messing around for years, allegedly. Now, that is something that people speculated. Remember that time? He was just standing casually at a party, and Maurice is friendly, but Dorit came up and kind of kissed him on the shoulder, and it was like an afterthought. I'm like, oh, these two are very familiar. I think maybe that's why we see so much heat from Kyle. Excuse me, everybody. We had a little aside talking about Beverly Hills. Wow, I can't wait to see that. So it's over on YouTube. We need to talk. This is the one I saw. That's it. Yeah, that is the person that has that show over on YouTube. He has a lot of British stars or something. I don't know. He must be from the United Kingdom. I couldn't tell by his accent, but he may be. Ooh, thank you, American Born. Can't wait to see it now. Me either. CC comes in, speaking to everyone. Thank you so much, CC. Hey, American Born, Key1 JTV, everyone speaking back. Oh, I was talking about Lottie's baby. Oh, yes, we saw a little bit of him at the end. And Mr. Joshua, who doesn't even know what parental leave is for dads, is taking care of that baby all the time. He won't put his little son down. So I love it. I love that for them. He's adorable. Dorit wears me out. I can't stand her. Yeah, she's a lot. Can't get in a word edgewise. Exactly. We need a reunion. I hope they still get one. I hope they're looking at social media and the following of this cast. Ladies in London really did a great job this season. And CC, speaking of Mama Bees, CDW, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us in the live. Good to see you. I'm reviewing the last episode, it looks like, of Ladies in London, season 4, episode 10, Summer Showdown. And then they also ended with this, quite a few events. So the first event we're at is the etiquette coach event. Myka is throwing. Her husband, Margo, has made an appearance after us not seeing him all season. I think we met him in the phone a couple of times. So you're going to be Mr. Telephone Man, as Phaedra would say. And then Mark is sitting with Missy. Missy's trying to speak life into him and tell him how beautiful he is and how loved he is. Because y'all, Mark is sitting up here crying over what Margo said to him, called the man a whole freak at Longleat, which he has felt at home at. That is his friend's estate. So yeah, I'm kind of upset with Margo. I can't believe she did that. He actually gets up and runs out, y'all. People notice. So Missy goes out to check on him. Poor Mark. That was really terrible. So the etiquette event is called The Art of Showing Up. We get a confessional with Mark. He says he doesn't cry. He holds it together, and he's mortified for Myka, for myself. Missy says she understands. Mark, honestly, just calling the only man in the group a freak is not good. So Missy sees the gravity of what Margo has done. And honestly, everybody, Margo's a smart cookie. She's cold-hearted, but she's no dummy. Margo knew what she was doing when she said that, and she wanted to really hurt Mark, and she did. She used that as a knife, and she did. So Myka says at 9, she performed at the Sarasota Circus, and that taught her stage presence. Myka is my comic relief because Myka had me laughing. She's cute. She's in her little heart dress with the naval inspired jacket on that she bought from Joshua, and I just love it. So she's like, oh, there's no etiquette to taking off your clothes in public. And she starts to take her jacket off. Mark Francis is back. He and Missy have retaken their seats in the front row. Jumps up to get her jacket, and she says, what a gent. That's what I call Mark Francis. So it's ladies of London and one gent. Mark kind of had a place in my heart. I don't like to see anybody hurt, especially when it's not just a throwaway comment. The person digs a knife. Margo meant that, everybody. I'm sorry. I don't think it was a throwaway word. I think she meant freak in the worst way she could say it. And he caught it. He picked up exactly what she was putting down. So Myka's saying, your etiquette, you are a brand, how you present yourself. You are telling people how to treat you. She's really great. She gives tips. She's comfortable in public. She speaks about you enter a room. If you're holding something, hold it with your left hand so your right hand is free to shake. Presentable, you smile. So Mark is in a confessional. He says, Myka owns etiquette, and he's complimenting Myka. Myka did a really good job. Her husband, they keep panning to him. He's nodding and he's just smiling. He's her face in the audience that you kind of look at to take the heat off you, and it's easy. If you've ever taken Toastmasters or any of those public speaking courses, when I was in finance, we worked. Sometimes we would have to present to clients, and they would have Toastmasters come in and just give us little tips. Public speaking is, of course, one of my biggest fears. And surprisingly enough, that is a lot of people's number one fear, public speaking. Myka was doing a great job, and Margo is just sitting there. He's our biggest supporter in this moment. So thank him for showing up. And I'm going to just look over and see if we have any more comments. American Born says, it was so good, and I really like that we have Mark. Yes, CC mentioned like him being the only gentleman, and then mentioned that like there were other shows that could have had one man, maybe. Real Housewives of Atlanta came up, and she said it could have been like Derek J or Dwight or Lawrence. I think, did you say Lawrence should have been maybe the first one? But Mark, he fits. It is Ladies of London, but he does fit. He's the only gent, and I just think Mark is great. I didn't love him at first, but he's grown on me, and I'm disgusted by Margo and what she did. And she doubled down and kept calling him a freak. Yes, after first denying it. I didn't call him a freak. I said he was weird. Don't use weird either, but she actually did say a freak. And she did double down. She denied it, and then production showed it. Production showed the bean footage. So Myka's husband is proudly smiling over her. She's doing a great job. She's got the audience engaged. Next scene. So her event was really a success. I loved it. Meanwhile, at the same time, we have another scene with Joshua and Lottie. They are entering a restaurant arm in arm. I think they're a really cute couple. He's dressed like Johnny Depp, of course, or maybe Johnny Depp's dressed like him. Maybe he made a suit one time for Johnny Depp, and that's just how he looks. I find that kind of funny. Whomever you see first, that's who gets the credit. Like when I first started seeing Janet Jackson come out and perform and everything, her little style, everything that she first had during the Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis years. One time I saw a behind the making one of those videos, I see Paula Abdul. And then it looks like, I don't know who had the style first, but that did used to be Paula Abdul's style. So I won't give the Johnny Depp look to Joshua. I'll say maybe, I don't know who is mirroring who, but that's who he was dressed like when they went to the restaurant. Yes, he grew on me as well. Yeah, Mark Francis is very engaging. I could tell all that joking and cackling. It is a form of defense, just kind of keeping his guard up. Kimmy does the same thing, and I didn't really care for her either. And she's grown on me as well. The only one that I can't really defend the way I want to is Margo. And I wish I could. But South Carolina is just, she's terrible. And she's going to do another terrible thing this episode. So I'm disappointed in her. She knows better. I found a new pic of Lottie I sent to your DM. Thank you. At the end, when I catch up on the other things that are happening with them, I will show the picture as well. I appreciate that, American Born. So they go into the restaurant. the server offers them, I think he said fizzy or bubbly or something like that. And Lottie says, no, he can drink, but I'm expecting. He congratulates them, and then she orders for the table. Lottie starts ordering almost everything off the menu, and Joshua's kind of teasing her. You don't play around when you're ordering. We get a confessional, and she says, I know it's a little masculine. I think Lottie's so cute. She's talking about masculine. I know it's a little masculine, but Joshua doesn't like to order. He lets me order for him, and I know what he likes. So I thought that was sweet. So they are talking to each other about they're coming to kind of the end stage of her pregnancy, her expectations for him being at home, all this work he's doing. She's barely seen him because he's putting together his custom suit show. He's hosting clients. We saw a few British celebrities. So Joshua's name is really ringing bells in United Kingdom and also here. So she says, you got to do a lot of things to keep a marriage going. Joshua says, whoa, what are you implying? So she says, well, you've just been so busy. And he discusses that he's not at home due to work. But after this show, he's going to make time. So the server is putting all these dishes on the table. Joshua's joking again. Lottie she's eating. And she's eating. He said, you're eating for 3. And she's just laughing. He said, a friend asked me about paternity leave. I didn't even know what that was. I thought I would start taking weekends off. Lottie says, now what if it's a C-section? You can't do anything. And I've heard that too. A lot of women dread a doctor forcing them to get a C-section. I guess somewhere along the line, the doctor think it's safer for them and their insurance, but many women dread that because the recovery period is so painful and takes a lot longer than a natural birth canal birth. So he was thinking that he won't work weekends, and that's just not enough. Lottie's telling him what it is, and we get a confessional with her. Lottie says, my father was a workaholic, and as a result, we barely saw him. And Joshua is a workaholic, and I'm hoping I can get him out of that before the baby comes. They had a gender reveal. We know the baby is a son. American Born has sent me a picture. I'll share it. We saw a picture of Joshua and the baby at the end. So Joshua, luckily, he was able to make time. I'll read a few comments and then go back to the scene. Thank you. Linda says, sorry about that, sis. I'm not sure what I missed. American Born says, Margo has been running around doing interviews. Now I haven't watched them. Yeah, she is on a big press run, American Born. I think she's trying to save her seat for the 2nd season, or what will be the 5th season. I don't think she fits in with the cast. And the way Lady Emma answered a question about what happened at Longleat, I think they've already almost successfully iced her out. And I follow Kimmy, Martha, Lady Emma. Kimmy had a picture up of all of them, and somebody mentioned, oh, you tagged everybody but Margo. So Margo, Phaedra even said it. You want to be a friend, you got to show yourself friendly. Mark is liked by all of the group, and he has known the group for 2 decades. So you're not going to come over there, Margo, and call this man a whole freak and then not really apologize. I sent a picture of Haggerty too. Haggerty and Martha, it's so funny. They ended up in the style section of the New York Times. So I have that Instagram, I think, where they showed that. You're right. She's trying to hold on. Yeah, she's trying to hold on. You got to be careful. I think her idea of herself is bigger and better than what she is. She thought she was going to come in and just steal the show, and she didn't. So we're going to get a scene where Margo is sitting with Martha. And then Margo's telling her that you're the reason that everyone started making fun of my clothes, because you said something. They show that horrific crushed velvet green jumpsuit. And Margo's like, I'm not crazy about the crushed velvet. And it did become a source of people laughing. But I think Margo was kind of laughing at the time. So for her to have this big vendetta with Mark over making fun of her clothes is crazy. So to me, that's not what happens. I find Margo to be a dangerous woman. She believes her lies. She believes now that she was the victim of bullying, which is crazy. And then we'll see her sit down with Mark. I'll cover that. So she knows she's lying and she believes her lies. So luckily, the other people in the group are not buying it. We get a scene where Missy is getting out of a car. She is emotional, walking up with flowers. Kimmy meets her. She's at the brother's gravesite. It is her first time visiting the gravesite. She said it makes her extremely emotional. We know that was a source of contention between her and Kimmy early in the season. Kimmy says, don't make it a freaking sob story or something like that. And Margo says, it is a sob story. And then brought everything back to Missy. And Missy rightfully had a problem with the way Kimmy was talking about her brother, mentioning news reports and the underworld and speculating about why he ended up being killed on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve in front of his family. So they have a picture up, those grave sites where they have the grave, then they have the picture, and he is gorgeous. Missy says, look at him, he's gorgeous. He looks just like Kimmy. He looks like a man Kimmy and the sister. She lets us know that her sister is pregnant. Her sister decided she cannot come to the brother's site. It's too much for her. She invited Kimmy, and Kimmy showed. So we find out that Kimmy and Missy's friendship is really growing. So I thought that was really sweet. Kimmy's trying to joke with her a little bit. And Kimmy and Missy have formed a bond, which I like. I'm glad she asked Kimmy to go with her. So Kimmy says she's honored to be picked to go to the grave. She said, he's gorgeous. I promise you, I would have flirted with him. Missy started laughing. She said, I'm so glad that I did invite you because I knew somebody that could make me laugh. It would be you. So we get a confessional, and Kimmy is saying, we've come full circle. I've shown her my soft side. She's shown me hers. So this is true. Kimmy tells us that she has been described as abrasive. I can tell why. Kimmy will cackle too, and it'll be over something kind of like a mean joke. So I can see why people would describe her as abrasive, but Kimmy's another one. I actually like Kimmy. Kimmy grew on me. Kimmy is joking with Missy that he's looking down and that, she would have flirted with him. I thought that was really funny. Here is the Mark Francis meetup with Margo, everybody. He reads the message in the confessional that Margo sent him. Now, we were there. We know that Myka ghost wrote the whole message because Margo has no home training and no sense of how to talk to people in a delicate way. Margo, she's a battle axe, I'll say that. So Myka ghost wrote it, and I think that's the reason why Mark met. It was a very well thought out, sweet note. So he says he's here to listen and to understand. And let me see if there's anything related to the other scene with Missy. Wrong road. Yes, we know what's going to happen. She's ridiculous trying to rewrite history. Yeah, she's one of those people. And Margo would pass a lie detector test based on what happened. I love the full circle with them at the gravesite. Yes, that was very touching. Remember, that was episode maybe 1, 2, or 3. And when Kimmy said that about Missy's brother and Margo went to run tell that, Kimmy did say some things that were really not right. I think it was a little bit too jokey and not really, I didn't like it. And I can understand why Missy didn't like it, but I'm glad she cleaned it up. But Margo did run tell that. She carried that bone. And we do need a bone carrier, but the bone carrier has to be mindful not to try to cause a conflict. So Mark looks at Margo and he says, do you want a drink? And she answers, do you? Y'all, I can't stand this lady. So Mark is sitting there in his little jacket, and I don't know if he had on jeans or khakis, but he was dressed casually for Mark, and he was plain faced. He wasn't joking or anything like that because we know Margo can't take Mark's jokes, and he wasn't making it easy. He said, I'll get a sparkling water. And she said, I'll have the same. So I thought, woo, this is icy in here. Mark just looks at her because, again, she invited him. So she starts, I know I haven't been kind. She's still acting. I know I haven't been kind. And the way that you took things that I may have said, some kind of mealy-mouthed around the way thing she was doing. And Mark says, I want you to know, I haven't felt this way since school. You've made me feel, took me back to 16 years old, suicidal, Mark, and I'm not about to go through it. Someone who's in my face, who's just narcissistic tendencies and not sincere. Margo's mouth, y'all, was hanging open. She's like, you know that dumb look she gets on her face? I think she thought she would come in there, smile at Mark, flirt with Mark, and that Mark was going to just try to brush it under the rug for sake of the show or sake of the friend group or whatever. But Margo was looking so stupid, y'all. She caught everything Mark threw. And I agree with him with the narcissistic tendencies. She caught it and shots were fired. So Mark says, it is freaky that I can't introduce my parents to the person that I will marry and that I cannot be close to people that are not truthful because I'm living in my truth and I won't live a lie. Margo she's shocked, y'all. She didn't know what to do with Mark. I was proud of Mark. I appreciated him not making it easy on her. So Margo's sitting there. You can see the wheels turning. She's trying to figure out, how do I deal with this level of honesty? Margo didn't know what to do. She said, I didn't know you were dealing with any of that. So she decides to be condescending. I didn't know you were dealing with any of that. Mark counters, you never could have known because you never made an effort. So you wouldn't know. So we get Margo in a confessional. She says, Mark is really doubling down. He doesn't want to squash things. He doesn't want to be friends again. And actually, that's Margo. I think Margo's doubling down. I think American Born mentioned, I think Margo's doubling down. She said he's not making an effort at all. So she's trying to change the narrative in the confessional. It's not working. She lies to Mark. It's just that when I met you, every time I see you, you are being so big and so fake. And Mark's just looking at her. I mean, she says, you're throwing up and cycling through all these big, different personalities. She's really calling Mark flamboyant. So we see you, Margo, and Margo sees it. You came to me. You tried to touch me. Francis started laughing out loud. He started laughing. He said, this has run its course. He stood up. Mark put his shades on, turned on his heel, and Mark strutted out of that restaurant. I was so proud of Mark. Bravo, Mark. Because Margo, she started to lie to him, tried to touch her. He was like, darling. And she said, she also said, I think you're attracted to me. Margo's in the confessional. She lies. She gets vulgar. She says, I think Mark wants to F. I think he's down to F. Maybe he's having these conflicting emotions because he's sexually attracted. Y'all, this is a dangerous lady. This man was not attracted to her in any sense of the word. I was kind of disgusted by her saying that. And it's triggering for a white South Carolinian woman to falsely accuse someone of trying to touch her and down to F, wanting to F her. Y'all, I don't even watch Southern Hospitality, but that is, the news over there is so big. If you don't watch it, it's out. The same way I don't watch Summer House. They have a character over there called Emmy, a blonde, I guess, South Carolina woman. And she's making one of the characters, Brad, that he's been aggressive. And this was via text, y'all. I'm telling you, I don't care what the year is, 2026. These people, certain ones never stop. But Mark got on his heel, put his shades on. He strutted out of there. Margo is disgusting. She doesn't fit in this group. I don't want to see her again. I'm disgusted by Margo. Let me take a break before I start dragging Margo too much. Just terrible. Disgusting. American Born is speaking for me. This is where I want to throw the TV. Me too, American Born. And nobody disputed the fact that these two have a little feud, a little rivalry. Mark's poking her about her clothes and her style and being inappropriate for different events. This lady's talking about his parents didn't want him, call him a freak, weirdo. Now he wants to touch her. He's down to F. He is sexually frustrated. You're the one over here in a foreign country in a nasty movie at 21 and still living on it 20-something years later. Margo, you're disgusting, just disgusting. Cece said he told her. He sure did, Cece. I was so proud of Mark. He was able to maintain his composure. He didn't yell. He didn't reach out and touch her and do any of that darling stuff to have her lie on him again. I think Mark won that. Mark got the best of her, and she didn't know what to do other than be rude, get in her confessional, lie again, be vulgar. And she says, I guess I'm paying for these. Yeah, you invited him. You're paying for those. You invited him. He had to leave because you started talking crazy and lying on him. So you can pay for these two sparkling waters, South Carolina, as rich as you are, with your rich husband. And I honestly, y'all, I don't know how much of that is true either. Cece said, it's funny how people who do the most want people to look past what they've done. Yes, Cece, I really think Margo came in there with the script in her head, which tells you how crazy she is. Mark is not your friend. He has no idea of what you think is going to happen. So he's just responding for real. And she's over here acting. And he didn't let her get away with it. So now she's mad again. Good. And now he knows he's not safe with her. I wouldn't be anywhere near that lady. I wouldn't. Bullseye, American Born, tells CC. Absolutely. Margo Bourne, I just sent you something she has posted now. Thank you. Oh, thank you, y'all. This is going to be another little extra after we finish this. So thank you for joining me midday Friday afternoon. She was the one who brought out the madam thing. Yes, she did. She did. That's going to come up later too. That for me, that's the reason why I think Dara left the show. And I don't think that's right. I think Dara would have made a pretty good villain. So Margo says, I guess I'll have to pay. So for the 2 sparkling waters, yeah, you can pay. The way you treated this man. And then you left his friend's house. You left Longleat. Mark says, she is a lunatic. So y'all, these lying personality types, I don't think they should be on these reality shows. I think they're really dangerous. And they could cause somebody to lose their livelihood. If back in the day, if not their life. You take an Emma type or a Margo type, a Southerner, just lying casually with a straight face. And then the same way she put on the panic attack tears. And now she's all in People magazine and everything saying, yes, after the birth of my child, this, that, and the other. Now, I'm not going to say that Della didn't cause her to have a postpartum, but I'm sorry, we never heard a word about it until she verbally assaulted Mark Francis. And then all of a sudden, I think it was either Missy or Myka gives her that out. Well, it could have been postpartum. Oh, yeah, it was postpartum, a panic attack and postpartum. I don't believe the panic attack. I don't believe the postpartum. Not from Margo. I can't believe her. So next we have Joshua and Lottie. They are prepping this show of his custom suits. Lady Emma is getting ready. Her and Kimmy show up together. Mark tells Lady Emma, it's so funny. Lady Emma, I thought she was in the show, but she wasn't. She was just getting her makeup done. So she's back there. Glam is doing her makeup, putting the finishing touches on. And he says, what a tot. I thought that was really funny. He's always teasing Lady Emma because I guess nobody in her life can really talk to her like that. So Emma's getting her face done, but she's laughing at Mark. So he says, I was sitting with Margo and this lady thought I was flirting and touching her. Lady Emma said, I'm puzzled. I don't understand. I didn't understand either. None of us understood. American Boy said she wanted to throw her TV. This was crazy. So she's telling Lady Emma, it made no sense to her either. And then Lady Emma, this is where the icing out kind of continues. She said, maybe Margo needs space and time, which means we're not going to be around this garden too. We're not inviting her. So you've been iced out, South Carolina. They don't want you back. They don't want you around. And Andy asked last night, would you invite her back to Longleat? Lady Emma says, we've never had a situation where someone has come to Longleat and didn't have a wonderful time. And we want everyone that comes here to have a wonderful time. Y'all, Lady Emma did not answer Andy at all. Lady Martha's sitting there looking at her and Lady Emma didn't answer. So they don't want you back, Miss Lady. We'll see what's going to happen. We'll see what's going to happen. So American Born says, Queen is breaking news about the Ashley Janae unaliving for you. Thank you so much. I will watch that. Those of you who have seen me in the YouTube streets, she is speaking of Queen Sheba. That's with an I, darling. So she's one of the creators that I can watch the Ashley Janae coverage over. I can't watch a lot of it, but I do trust her perspective and how respectful she is about it. Also, Fumi Deseluvold. Because y'all, it's something that's really sensational and it's so triggering. I can't take sensationalism when they're speaking about that. So I will follow the coverage there. Thank you for telling me that, American Born. Cece says, I hit something by mistake. Sorry. Oh, no, that's okay. No problem at all. American Born says they have known each other so long they can be silly with each other. Yeah, I like that. And Lady Emma, I'm sure she's Lady Emma. And she might walk in a room with the staff telling each other silly jokes or something, and they probably kind of hop to attention when Lady Emma comes in. So Mark can just tell her, oh, you look, you're a tart or whatever. And nobody else can really do that. Now, early on, I criticized Mark for that. I don't really like that. I don't joke like that. But Lady Emma seems to like it. And if she likes it, it's okay. I love it. So Kimmy and Martha are riding together to Joshua's event. Myka shows up alone. She's in black. She looks cute. There's not been one event where Myka wasn't dressed appropriately, understated, and beautifully at all. Now, I don't know what's going on with that dry little ponytail that she has. I don't know. But other than that, Myka is immaculate. Missy has already been dressed. She's in a cute little suit. I'm shocked. She said Joshua made that for her. He's amazing. It fits perfectly. I don't even have a bum. She said, but you can see my bum, which is her butt, and she looks good. She's all covered up. The girls aren't even jumping out. So go ahead, Missy. We see Lady Emma and Mark. Lady Emma's done getting her makeup done. They come out front together. Again, Lady Emma was not in the show. I thought she was, but she's not. So she's just in a regular, beautiful flowered dress. Y'all know how Lady Emma dresses, very ladylike. So Martha is there with kind of a flower dress on, as is Kimmy. That's how Kimmy dresses. Martha has one of those fascinator hats that the Potomac ladies wear when they go to, is that Preakness? I know the Derby, Kentucky Derby has different events, but the one in Delaware that they had Potomac at, they wear those fascinator hats. And she had bullet earrings on. So she's like, I'm ready for war. And Kimmy's laughing. Margo shows up looking horrible, y'all. They show her from the whole front to the back. She has on this denim look skirt, but it's not denim. If y'all watched on Married to Medicine, Quad had on this kind of like a denim dress, this real body conscious, but the material is not denim. A lady on another show had the same dress, I think on the Valley. So I don't know. They probably will throw out some designer that it is. That's what Margo had on as far as the skirt. It wasn't denim, but it was made to look that way. Very see-through material. I'm sure it was some type designer. I don't know what designer. And then the top was like a little sweater that was cut out by like a kid. It has just the squiggly looking scissor marks showing her midriff, showing her back, and no bra, no anything under it. And she just walks in. Y'all know how Margo does. She looks like a streetwalker. She looks like she's looking for a madam. And this is a married woman. So that's how she looked. I really want to go to Longleat now. Yes, Andy asked her that. Have you seen an uptick in the visitors? She says they have over 1 million visitors a year anyway, but they've seen traffic to the website. And of course, that is on people's list of places to go now. We know they have the only safari outside of Africa. So good job, Lady Emma, appearing on the show and getting Longleat even more attention. AB says, I love the suit by Lottie's husband, Missy wore. Yes, Joshua was very talented. Very talented. The suits they're little suits, but they're so feminine. They're really cute. And Missy was wearing hers. She looked really cute. The Preakness. Okay, thank you. So that's what Martha had on, a fascinator hat. Margo was dressed inappropriately. Margo, you made it through to episode 10. You didn't dress appropriate for one event. So yes, she was dressed inappropriately, I thought. I thought so too. Again. Okay. So we will continue. They're getting ready to start this fashion show. Everyone has arrived. So again, Margo's stomach is out. We know how Margo likes to do. And Margo says, I've made peace with myself and my behavior. This is totally wrong. You can't make peace with yourself about your behavior. If you truly apologize to someone, which I didn't really see an apology to Mark, she was one of those, she was getting ready to do one of those if you're offended, but she started to attack him again, and Mark kind of just reeled it back in, told her what he thought about her, and he didn't allow it. So she says, it's hard to look at someone who I love as a soulmate and not recognize her. She's talking about Lady Martha, y'all. This liar has turned around the criticism that other people have about her, that they look at her, they've known her and don't recognize her. This is another thing she had against Mark. Mark had a woman come to his party and said, I've known her 20 years and Margo is acting so different. So now this lie is projecting this onto Martha. So after the event, Margo and Martha sit down, and that's what she does. She kind of attacks Martha that way. Martha is frustrated. She says, I love her. She's been my friend 20 years. I kind of want to hug her and also pony kick her. I'd like to see it, Lady Martha. Do it. I think she's leaving the show anyway. She lies that she looks amazing. The groups, they dread her even showing up. Kimmy greeted her. Missy greeted her. Mark continued his conversation as if Margo was not even standing there. And Lady Emma, being the lady that she is, greeted her. And then she says, I'm sorry that I had to leave Longleat early. She said, I'm sorry. I didn't get to say thank you before I left. And Lady Emma says, well, I was worried because I'd heard that you were unwell. There was an incident and I didn't know what had happened. And Margo says, yes, it was hard for me. And Lady Emma just stretched her face like she did when Margo stole those sandwiches before it was time to eat. That was a mess. So the group turns around to the runway. I like the way everything was set up, everybody. It was really nice. They were coming from the back. The first model struts in. He is in one of the Joshua custom suits, looking gorgeous. And Kimmy is saying he is angelic. This first model is angelic. All of the suits were gorgeous. All of the models, they have that androgynous look. They all looked good. Joshua was in his element. He's backstage fixing the last little thing on every single suit. Lottie is the show closer, everybody. We finally get to see the little baby bump from the baby on Lottie, and she looks adorable. She says, this is the last runway I'll do before I become a mother. I'm surprised. I'm a little nervous. Joshua is saying, whatever you do is going to be perfect. I love the way they talk to each other. They act like best friends, and they are just the cutest couple. So she comes out, and the group is just, Mark says she is divine. Lady Emma called her a goddess, Beyonce, just everything. Martha says it's magic, gorgeous. Everybody loves Lottie, y'all. So Joshua comes out. He thanks the team. He said this is his last show before becoming a dad. And he tells Lottie, and I can't wait for you to be a mom. Y'all, that just tugged the group's heartstrings. And they were just, ah. And I was too. This was a really, really nice way to end the episode with the different events that they let people have. So we get the Martha and Margo actual sit down. Martha is telling us in a confessional that she hates confrontation. And then Margo starts lying. I wish I didn't have to say that about you, Margo, every episode. It's like a broken record. Margo says, I came to Mark with humility, and he spent 15 minutes talking at me, and he took no responsibility. Martha's just looking at her with her head cocked to the side, just unbelieving. She says, Mark attacked the shoes that you wear. You attacked his character. Margo says, well, she says, you did call me and tell me everything that everybody was saying about me. Now, I did criticize Lady Martha, also Lottie, and Missy is a run tell that as well. You have to be careful doing that because Margo is now turning this against her. So, y'all, this is too much. I forgot to mention while they were sitting down there, Kimmy said, look, they were sitting below, so they didn't go out separately. They just went upstairs to talk. And the group was kind of anxious. They're waiting to see they're going to hear loud noises or what. And then Kimmy says, look at Debbie Downer up there trying to take her down. Lottie said, I'm going to go up there. I'm going up there to get her. And Myka said, no, it shouldn't be you. She says, Martha has to learn how to deal with being straightforward and telling Margo what it is. And Lady Emma and Mark agree. They don't allow Lottie to get up there because Lottie was getting ready to go let Margo know what's what. And this is Joshua's event. Margo's she's been an ugly American. And that is a trope I hate, but she is. So Margo, I'll give her this. She didn't lie when she said Martha did make fun of her clothes first, but she did lie when she says, and then that's why Mark felt comfortable to do so. And everyone felt free to do so. No, Margo, they felt free to do so because you were horrifically dressed. Every single event you had, you were not appropriate. So Margo saying, we've been friends for 25 years and we never had an argument until that man entered our life. They are fun friends and they are friends in the serious time that'll wipe your A in the hospital. And Lady Martha says, I would wipe your A. And then Margo wants to know, would Mark do that? And Lady Martha says, no, I don't think I could get Mark to do that. And she says, well, then that's not a real friend. That's not true. You have some family members that won't wipe your bottom at the hospital. So she can't say Mark's not a real friend because he wouldn't be cut out to do that. I don't think that's right. I could see Mark maybe, I don't know, sending cleaners over to help her or making sure her bills are paid or something like that. But no, he's not the one that's going to wipe you down in the hospital. I'm sorry. So Margo was saying, and I don't like the fact that you say, they're my friends and I'm your friends. It's not the same. So she wants to be in a category above the other friends. Martha, I'm proud of you, Martha. Martha, we know she doesn't like conflict, but she's holding her own. She says, you're creating the conflict. All the conflict we've seen, you're at the center of it. We get a confessional, And she says, ever since you've been back in England, you're just you're behind everybody's back, and you're not making things easy for anyone. Then in the confessional, she says, in England, you do talk about each other behind their back, but they don't like run tell that and do all of that. So Margo tells us that in the confessional that they're going to need a break. Margo gets in a confessional and says, Martha and I are fine and we will always be fine. So that they have the same conversation. One of them says they're fine, they'll always be fine. And the other one says they're going to need a break. I have to believe Martha. So there's a production note. It says that they are talking again. They took a little break, but they're talking again. So I guess we'll have to catch that up again. I can't remember if I feel like on Watch What Happens Live, somebody asked. I'm going to look at what American Born sent me, and I'll see if I know anything more. But I know Kimmy shared something, and someone pointed out you didn't tag Margo. So Margo gets in a confessional. Y'all, she's the first one to end the season. And she starts saying, I'm proud to be an American. No, she didn't. She didn't do that, but she might as well have. She started saying, I just love the fact that I'm here. I'm American. I'm proud. When I first came, I didn't really want to be American. I wanted to fit in, but now I'm proud. Nobody asked her not to be American, not to be herself. But I think that the image she was trying to present of her is not the real her. And I think that's why she had conflict. So then we get the ending with Martha. Martha tells us she's riding horses again. Production shows her on the horse. I'm glad for Martha. She said she was kind of depressed after her last divorce, and it put that part of her life down. But now we see Martha riding horses. Congratulations to Lady Martha. They catch up with Lottie and Joshua. Have had a gorgeous boy. Joshua's in a picture at the end. He's with the baby all the time. So Joshua, now you know what parental leave is. I thought that was really cute. Myka says she learned to get rid of people that no longer serve her. And maybe she didn't need Dara as much as she thought she did. You're right, Myka. And not just Dara. Hopefully you don't try to keep saving Margo either. She thanks the group for their friendship. This is still at the event. She thanked the group for their friendship, and they all toast. Kimmy and Martha say that they have had beautiful moments, and Martha wants everybody to just remain together as friends. I love Lady Martha. I'm sorry that she was kind of hurt by Margo, but I don't know. I don't think there's no time frame. Like they say, people in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Margo's probably not a lifetime friend. There's nothing wrong with that. I've had people I thought were growing, we were going to be friends, and then you see a side of them that you're like, no, I don't fit in, and that's okay. That's not bad against the other person, against you. Now, in Margo's case, it is bad because Margo's a liar. South Carolina's a liar. Missy said, I've never been more myself. Emma and Mark are joking. Emma says, let's do a translation, how to speak the English language. So he talks English at first. I loved it. It was perfectly charming. Emma says, means that was hideous and he's never going again. So they bust out laughing. These two really are good friends. Emma says she doesn't like stopping or slowing down, but she needs to be kinder to herself and just stop to take a breath. Mark says that he adores Kimmy and that he says, B, you're coming back and you're going to be in my life, in my next life. So Mark told Kimmy, I guess I'll see you next lifetime. I love it. I love it. I love it. Shout out to Erica Badu. So I thought this was really cute. Yeah, this was the last episode. I don't know where I heard that it was next week. So Mark thanks everyone. He says that Margo actually helped him deal with the part of his existence that he had not, to show his real self with his real friends, and that this summer has ended with gratitude and an open heart. Lottie is just giving love to everyone. They've had a great summer. They can't wait to see what everyone else is up to. They all toasted their friendship, and Kimmy and Mark, and we're toasting to loyalty. So I thought this was a great season, a great continuation of the series. To be candid, I didn't watch the first part. I haven't seen the first 3 seasons of Ladies of London because, of course, I wanted to watch this one and just know the cast as the new cast. But I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. Let me see if I have missed any comments or not, and then I'll go and start showing whatever we have to follow up with the group. That was the end of the episode, everybody. I thought it was a really good, strong season. I thought it was great. Okay, let's do the comments first, and then I will go into my inbox and find the information that American Born sent me, and then also show you what I had already to share. I had queued up. Okay, little boy's cute. Okay, we were talking about something else for a moment. I'll save that for an extra with Beverly Hills, because I do need to do my homework and watch that. We talked about Lottie's baby, welcomed in CDW. Agreed that Mark was trying to hold on. That fake apology, no, that didn't fly. All right, so Margo's dressed inappropriately. We agreed to that. Is her husband a duke? I couldn't remember his title. He was the baron of something or other. You get a title and then something else about the estate. I feel like it was duke, and I'm sorry, I don't want to say what it was, but I remember baron or something like that. Did you hear her tell Andy that was the worst thing a guest ever did? Yes, that's what she said. She didn't answer the question as to whether or not she would have her back either. Andy said, what did the staff think about the big argument that happened? And she said they didn't see that. They had already finished setting up and gone on to whatever they were doing. So luckily they didn't see that. I don't know. I was just making a statement about the gentry. Yeah, CC, all of that I don't really know about. American Born is laughing. Was that what at Margo's probably was her send off? It was disgusting. I'll send you a mobile nurse. Yes, CC, because wiping bottom's not for everyone. That doesn't mean you're not a good friend. That means that's not your ministry. Everybody's different. American Born is laughing. I did it for my mom. It doesn't bother me. I clean up after my dogs. Yeah, see, everybody's different. Now, for me, I did it for my mom, but that's my mom. A friend, I don't know. I'm like, CC, I'll send the mobile nurse to you. God bless you. Yes. Great review. Thank you so much, CC. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, great review and live episode is a 10. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and rate it a 10 as well. And they had a very high A+ season. I'll say that. They kept me engaged. I got to know the entire cast, and I really like how they all know each other. I just felt like the odd one out was Margo, and I feel like they were receptive to her, and she was enmeshed in the group. She and Martha have a long friendship. They've known each other 20 years. There's no reason why Margo couldn't fit in. So if she's iced out or not welcome back, it's because of her. And American Born is right. She's doing a lot of press run. She's out here. She's talking about, I've never had panic attacks, and the 3-day one was this, that, and the other. And my baby Della, now Della's 1 year old, postpartum, but she's saying all this stuff. So I don't know. We're going to see what's going to happen. A 9, that's high praise from CC. Yes, an A+ season, way better than the last cast they had. Oh, so you did watch some of that? Yeah, I'm not familiar with them, the earlier seasons. And then Mark is from something called Made in Chelsea. So I may pick that up just to see what he was like. But yeah, okay. So that's interesting. Replay gang, thank you, CC. Replay gang, hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype the video up. Yes, that keeps a growing channel in the algorithm, and I do appreciate you very much. Now, I'm going to drop down off camera for a second while I pull up this other, oh no, there it is right there. Okay, so let me find out where it is on here. Okay, so this is where where they stand as far as with the season ending. I'm going to have to keep. Oh, okay, that's a little jacket, y'all. That is what Myka had on. I'll turn it down so I don't get dings. I want you to see the front again. She said she felt like a naval officer. So they were setting up for her event. Cake. They had little hors d'oeuvres. I thought they were going to talk about where the season is. Let me see where this is at. The cast of Ladies of London, the new reign ended their inaugural run by raising a glass to friendship and loyalty, even though they at times had questioned throughout the season. I think this might just give us a rundown of what they talked about already. Okay, here we go. This is an update. Margo Stiley's life after Ladies of London, the new reign. That's her in the cast picture. She took a nice photo. Following Margo's failed attempt at making peace with Mark Francis after their blow up at Long leaked, she shared in a confessional, I've made peace with myself and my behavior. I am free of the Mark drama. Again, for me, that wasn't for her to do. I think the other person has to decide whether to forgive you or not. And I don't blame him for ending the conversation where he did, especially when she started saying he started touching her and he wants to F her and all this kind of obviously untrue, crazy stuff. That is a whole gay man. That is why she called him weird and a freak because of that. He's the only man in the group and the only, I believe, gay person among them. So I didn't like her doing that. And we know what Margo was doing. She was not ready to give up on her friendship with Martha quite so easily. However, after the two sat down to hash out their issues at the finale's fashion show, Margo declared, Martha and I are in it to win it. We're going to be with each other till the end, and that's it. She did say that, but Martha said they needed time. So I don't know if there's Martha. Martha looks great in that photo. Look at that. That's the cast shot. And she does look like a 1940s or one of the earlier era movie stars. I love how she dresses. This is again, the best dressed cast on Bravo, in my opinion. There's Lottie. Lottie looks adorable. Okay, that's just the cast photos. Let me go down for a second, and then I'm going to find what American Born sent me and see what else. Let's see. I watched the earlier seasons of all of them. Oh, American Born, how was Made in Chelsea? Is that worth watching? Caroline from Dubai was on the original Ladies of London. Yes, CC, I knew that, and then I'd forgotten it. Caroline Stanbury. And I feel like she had some type of title or at least access to nobility or something at the time, because she was one of the popular ones that people talked about. I think that's how she got her Real Housewives of Dubai opportunity. Yeah, they were good in the beginning, Cece. Oh, okay. So I might, if I need to pick up a show, I might look at that. Running around trying to get sympathy. That's all it is, because now you're talking about postpartum panic attacks and everything else. I don't believe it. I love all of them but Margo. Yes, I feel the same. And I don't think it had to be that way. I could take a good old villain. I don't have a problem with the villain at all. Okay, so let me share this tab. This is Martha Sitwell. Oh, I don't follow you, Martha. Let me follow you just to see if anything else comes up. Okay, so Haga A. Haga A is a cover girl, everybody. So New York Times style. Wow, that is that's exclusive. Bravo TV says our cover girls. Lottie's on there, beautiful, and then other people. Where have you two been all my life? So yeah, this is pretty nice. Haga A and Martha spinoff win. No. Somebody tag Bravo Andy and Bravo TV. So people really like this. I'm overjoyed for you, Martha Sitwell. You must be flying so high with the outpouring of love and support for you. Yeah, they were telling Martha that they were very, Andy made a crack coming in. He was like, Lady Emma has the largest home among the group of friends, and Lady Martha's home is covered in bird poo. And the audience was like, eh. You know, Andy, sometimes the jokes are a little more stinging than they should be. And Martha just smiled. But I thought that was a little rude of Andy. I didn't care for that. But Andy, sometimes Andy doesn't know how to act. So I didn't like that at all. Did you send that to my IG, American Born? I'm going to try to jump in here quickly and get that while we're online. Yeah, I think that is where you have shared stuff with me before. Okay, I see it. I'm going to go in here and try to grab it without like showing your information and all that stuff. Okay, so here we go. And Mark, let me see if I can put this back up quickly. Let's see, just this Instagram. There we are. Here's Mark, the sound.
And I can't help but think what it might have meant to me receiving even one of them as a child growing up.
I'll let it read.
So truly, thank you. I'm deeply humbled and endlessly grateful because you've given me something invaluable, the confidence to be myself. My wish is to give something back to you, the confidence not to fear judgment, not to conform, not to follow the crowd or suppress your individuality, to fearlessly and wholeheartedly embrace who you are, because this life, this extraordinary life, is a gift, and everyone has the right to be extraordinary. In fact, I think of it as a duty. You know I can never resist quoting Oscar Wilde. He very wisely said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." And I think over a century later, the words still resonate. So my dream is this, that each and every one of you finds the courage to celebrate who you truly are, to open your heart and to embrace life in all its nuance, in all its complexity, and in all its beauty. We are, in so many ways, profoundly fortunate to live in a world that's ever more open, ever more accepting, and that is something we must never take for granted. So I want to leave you with this, a feeling of deep and truly heartfelt gratitude for your kindness, for your openness, and for allowing me to share this journey with you. Thank you.
Oh, that was heartfelt.
I have 2 words for you. Thank you.
Okay, I think we saw that. Okay, I'll read a few comments and then we'll discuss it. That's Mark Vandelli. That's his page. Thank you, American Born. With an open heart, I thank you all. Well said, my love. That's Kimmy. Lottie, always live your truth. And Lottie, again, Margo, Lottie was trying to be neutral and on her side, but she turned Lottie against her when she doubled down. He is a freak. He is a weirdo. And she was saying it with such venom. We got a confessional from Lottie saying that is how people used to treat Joshua. Joshua's not gay. Joshua's a flamboyant man. And what if Mark or anyone else is gay? So that was really a terrible lesson that Margo showed everybody, even though Mark said he was able to be himself. And when she was even at the lunch that they had together, when she tried to double down and said, you just are so big and so fake and cycling through personalities. Now, when I mimic people, I try really hard not to go into a mocking thing. I thought Margo was trying to mock him and his flamboyance, just the way he is. And I just find that really lowbrow and trashy. And I find Margo lowbrow, trashy, and I don't care for her at all. And I'm with American Born. I love all of them, but Margo. I think they've earned a second season. We'll see what the numbers do. American Born says, I meant The Housewives, one of their variations not made in Chelsea. Oh, okay. I don't know why Real Houses of Dubai didn't come back. That was pretty good. We had a few going on between Lisa Milan and Chanel Ayan. I wanted to see where that went. And Chanel Ayan is still very valuable to NBC Universal. She did a great job hosting some events during BravoCon. I didn't get to see her at all. I didn't even see her in passing. And I really wanted to see Chanel Ayan. So they loved her. I saw her on Queen's channel, like one of the things that Queen has said about her or posted. So Chanel Ayan she's still in NBC Universal view. They still want to work with her. That was another thing Portia said in her interview with Carlos, that NBC Universal, we knew that deal was worth $7 or $8 million. So K. Michelle, she wants to kind of go at whom people consider a fan favorite. I don't know how smart that is one season in, and I think it might already be turning on her. But Margo, same thing. I think Margo thought she's going to be this big star of this show. Even though it's a reality show, people will like you even as a villain. But she was very nasty, and I don't care for it. If she had played it right, yes, a villain of. Yes, yeah, you can be on a show as a villain. I think Dara too. Now, what I didn't like, Andy asked Lady Martha last night, do you feel bad about sharing the rumor that Dara was a madam when she left the show, maybe because of that? And Lady Martha's like, well, I feel bad that she didn't find it funny. I found it incredibly funny. I think that's kind of tone deaf and blind for them not to see why calling the only Asian lady on the show a madam is problematic. And I've read things about her. I go on Reddit. I get in the Reddit streets, and they'll say anything over there. And there are people saying they thought that, they had heard that some type of yacht event took place, and Dara was allegedly there with some of her girls. I don't know. And again, allegedly and in my opinion, but that's not something you share, and that's why she left the show. Oh, yeah, CC, I agree. Andy is crass and sophomoric. He is. Lady Emma, you should have seen her face. She has this little pain thing she does. Like, it's not a smile, but it's like, oh, honey, you're not showing great. That's a good quote. Yeah, that Oscar Wilde quote. I like that. Be yourself because everyone else is taken, or whatever he said. I have to look that up. Good on Mark. That was really nice. I'm proud of him. I think that he's one of those people. He does come out laughing and joking and like Kimmy. And that is like a defense. They don't want people to be able to poke them. But y'all, I have to admit, when Mark was just talking to Missy and she was like, how are you? And he said, not good. And then he said, that brought me back. When that man started crying, I got a little choked up. I'm not going to forgive Margo for that. I think she's disgusting. Now, again, it's her first season. If she's brought back, maybe she can turn it around, but I didn't like it. Yes, I hope Dubai comes back. Yeah, I don't feel like they gave it a real chance. Cece, the nerve of a adult movie actress talking smack and calling names. Completely trash, Cece. I mean, what age were you when you got to UK? You were in a nasty movie by 21. Come on now. You couldn't find anything else. You couldn't get on the BBC and get you a good old soap or something. And then you still falling back on that. I don't know what else she's doing. They claim she got some other kind of show over there. Who knows? Yeah, Margo, she did it to herself. Let me look in here, Cece, and see what else you have sent to me. Thank you for that share. That was really good. I'm proud of Mark. And I think Mark was a little bit surprised at how the audience took to him. And he seems like he's relieved. Yeah, when people are bullied like that during those formative years, it really does a number. I tell you, I hate a doggone bully. I escaped a lot of it. Those of you that have been here, I've shared. I grew up in Yonkers, New York, the projects, the whole thing. We were very poor, but I'm number 7 out of 8 kids, and that's protection in and of itself, okay? I had a couple of fights. Of course, the other person started, but I never allow anybody to like punk me or anything like that. And, you know, you had a lot more coming after you if you tried to start. But Mark, that really hurt me for him to have Margo, just because he said that little jacket looked like pigeon. And it did. It did. How dare her? Let me see. What is this? What do y'all think about this? Oh, let me see. I'm going to put this up, everybody. Let me share this. I'm going to go off screen because I'm going to have to lean up all in your face and like squint. So while I'm sharing this, I'm going to go off screen. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Now I can lean up and squint in peace. Here's Margo. Someone posted, Claudia. Thank you, Claudia. You guys, what do y'all think about the whole statement and story of Margo, Pound, Ladies of London? It's like by Real Housewives of the World and other. Margo Stiley, that's her. We don't share postpartum depression with new moms because we don't want to color the experience with fear. And when we find ourselves in depression, it's so hard to find a way out. When you think you're the only person who feels like this, here are some questions my doctor gave me when looking for a practitioner to help with postpartum depression and hormonal imbalances. Ask not only if the doctor treats these issues, but if they're passionate about it. The receptionist will tell you it matters more than you think. Your local Facebook mom groups will refer you to local practitioners with real experiences, far better than any Google or AI search. Ask if they prescribe bioidentical hormones. Often these are not covered by insurance, but they should not be very expensive. It's rarely an endocrinologist, and often it's a nurse practitioner, not a doctor, who will have the most passion and expertise. Keep your mind open and go on referrals if you can. Save this. Share it with the mama who needs it. Let me answer this in a sensitive way. Y'all, I think Margo is full of crap. I think Margo is starring as the ugly American. I don't believe her postpartum. I don't believe her panic attack. When we were introduced to sweet little Della, I think it would have come up. Della's the light of my life. I'm so glad that she's here. I'm a little down that my husband's not here. My stepsons are not here. And I'm going through this postpartum depression. Why did we hear about this after one of the ladies tried to give her grace and suggested it to her? Margo, you're a zip dang fool. You're a liar. And the truth is not in you. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. Yeah, I don't, American Born, I think the same thing. This is really, I don't like this. I got choked up as well. Yeah, American Born, you know, people, if they're crying all the time, you're like, okay, stop. But if it's one of those stoic people and they're either, you know, they're deadpan, they don't really cry, or if it's a jokey person and they don't cry, when one of them tear up, they have the power to get me because I'm empathetic. It hits me too when I see that. And that was a really touching scene because Mark said he was brought back to 16 years old. And then him in a school of 1,000 boys, younger kids, teens, they are so irrational. He said he's the only one that was gay. You, baby, you were not the only one that was gay. They hid it better than you. Out of 1,000. So Margo has really done damage. And American Born, I agree. She's grasping at straws now. Yeah, I don't believe her. it makes me sick too. It's repulsive. It really is. American Born says, Lady Emma says she had never seen Mark cry. Yes, a friend of 20 years. And Kimmy said the same. Martha had never seen it either. So, and I'm glad that he's saying that it caused him to be able to like show his full self to people. But y'all, that was the Ladies of London review and the few extras. Let me check my box one more time and see if there's anything else in there. I feel like you sent the photo. Yes, there it is. Okay, let me show this. And then we'll end on this, everybody. This is really, really cute. Okay, there we are. Joshua talking about he didn't know what parental leave is. Look at him. He don't put that boy down. That is so funny. I wonder if he got a little suit already. I bet he does. And there's Joshua in another one of suits like the one he made for Lottie. Okay, Lottie's in a dress and top. Adorable. They're a beautiful family. It looks like he made that baby holder, y'all. It matches his suit. Joshua's a mess. Look at that. It matches the suit. Thank you so much, American Born. I appreciate that. Thank you. Everybody, thank you for showing the extras. You are welcome. Honestly, I love when people send me things. I love when you send me things, American Born. And anytime I don't show it, it's just that it doesn't fit into what I was already talking about, or I honestly couldn't get my hands on quick enough to get it. But I'll have another political discourse within the week. So any information I've received, I know Cece sent me some stuff, and then there's stuff that I just use for myself. So thank you as well, Cece. But yeah, that was really great. I'm so happy for them. Lottie and Joshua, I love it. He probably has a whole line of suits now. I bet he does. All in that little baby closet. Adorable. If he's a little carrier that's dressed like his dad, that's really cute. So those of you that joined us for Ladies of London, this was the finale. We'll see what they do if they get any type of reunion, even in the clubhouse. Or Andy, fly your tail over to London so you don't have to fly all those people here. But thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. I appreciate it. It's okay. Just send stuff you use if you want. Thank you so much, American Born. I really do. Have a blessed weekend, everyone. Yes. Thank you, everybody. Have a blessed weekend. And I will see you in the YouTube streets. Bye, everybody.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you? That I don't think that he's good. That I